think it's working now. Yeah.
Live for 4 minutes, 13 seconds.
Yeah, but that's because it's yeah. No. Like, because that's like, yeah, like that's fine. That's fine.
Good.
So we're live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh.
We are live. Oh. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for waiting there. We're still getting it all. Cheers. Welcome back to episode, what's this, 4? Colin Hollett podcast, very polished, big studio here, and very huge budget. I'm sick and tired of negotiating millions of dollars on this very hugely internationally watched podcast. Big time. I am here accompanied by my co-host, Mr. Tyler McDonald. Let him hear it.
Hello, Facebook world.
Yeah, I just not doing that. And my other great friend, fellow comedian, tenant of this household, and producer, set this whole thing up. Let him hear Mr. Liam Small. That reminds what are you saying? What are you saying? Me. Me. Reminds me of Don Prey?
Yeah.
Did you meet you never met Don, did you?
I've heard who it is. Yeah.
So Don Prey is hilarious. He's a friend of mine, comedian. He's living in Toronto. If you ask him where he's from, he'll tell you. He's from all over. He was a military kid, so he moved all over. But if he had to give you a home, he'd say Ottawa. Hilarious guy. But he has a joke at the Winnipeg Comedy Festival, and it's telling a story. Like 75% of his gala set at the Winnipeg Comedy Festival is talking about when he met me. That's a CBC gala special about how he was doing a weekend in Halifax, and there's this newfie on the show with him that he just met, and then we went bar hopping together.
Right.
And it's a hilarious story. Worth looking up for anybody watching. Don Prey, Winnipeg Comedy Fest. If you YouTube that after the stream, not now, don't be rude. Look that up, and what he's talking about is he's this East Coaster kid that he's talking about. He's talking about me, and it's a fucking ridiculous story. It's funny hearing his perspective, because like you ever hear someone tell a story from their perspective, and you're like, "Hold!" It's almost like just to give like a famous example, but like knowing Dave Chappelle in a special did talks about how he went to watch Kevin Hart with his son. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes and he wants to meet Kevin Hart backstage, and he tells that whole thing from his perspective and how fucking hilarious it was. Yeah. And then there's an interview where Kevin's on like a talk show or whatever, and he goes I never seen it that way at all. And he's kind of like talking about praise of Dave Chappelle, but because that's the genius of Chappelle, how he could take that innocent, simple moment and make it that funny, like from his perspective. Yeah. It's kind of like that with Dom, like when he tells this, like, I never seen it like that at all. But what he's saying, everything he's saying is true. But like I didn't see it like but it's just like from his eye, right? From where he was sitting.
Dad, can I have $260? What's the matter, son? Someone trying to kill you?
Oh man!
It's funny you mentioned that, because you said like he was a military kid.
Yeah.
And like I grew up in a military town.
Yeah.
And what I remember is all the military kids moving through the town, whereas like me and my friends were sort of a mainstay. So like it'd be like, grade 6 new kid. Oh, he's my best friend. Grade 8 gone.
Like, oh
shit.
man, I do not envy.
A lot of transient military kids.
Yeah, anything like that, man. I don't care if it's just the RCMP or if it's the military, the army, or if it's the Salvation Army, man. It's all brutal. Because like my aunt, my dad's sister, Salvation Army officer, and so they're clergy, right? They're priests, pastors, whatever you want to call them. They call them officers in the Salvation Army. They don't call them priests; they call them officers.
Give me
right?
a break.
Well, that's it. And great people. You know, I love my
great
family.
people.
Yeah, yeah, it's my family, Tyler. And I love them very much.
Not a big fan of religion.
That's fine.
The church or the RCMP?
You don't have to be, man. But the point is, because the whole point of it though is that like they get stationed, right? They get like to different churches, but it can go all over anywhere. So like every like 5 to 7 years or 4 to 7 years, they're moving to different places. Like so my cousins, Ryan, Sarah, and Laura, like every like, you know, they're getting really settled into school. You know, get to spend 5 or 6 years to a school, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. They'd be getting up and going, not just to a different school, but man, a different province, and start all over again. And I forget which cousin it was. I can't remember if it was Sarah or Laura, but one of them, like, after they graduated grade 11, that was the year they got moved. Oh, so just spent got to spend like grade 3 to like grade 4 or 5 right to grade 11 in one school.
That's like
and then in grade 12, moved to a completely different province, different school to graduate that last year. You know what I mean?
Deadly Christmas gifts that year.
Yeah.
For sucking that one.
Yeah. Jesus better be coming through them, motherfucker. Right? But, yeah, no, it's not an easy life. I don't envy that life at all. But he has a joke in that bit, to get back to it, how the whole thing came up, where he talks about being in nightclubs and how, like, how he's too old for nightclubs and he hates them and one thing he hates about him is like that whole like incoming song. Right? As if you had no idea like another song was gonna be coming on without the yeah. But look that up for anybody watching. That is hilarious shit. But yeah, here we are back again today. I don't know what this is, day something of quarantine. Yeah, it's all a blur. Is anybody else having that problem out there? Just like the perception of time makes no sense. Like Nick was saying to me the other day, he was like, he goes, "What day is it?" And I was like,
"Who cares?"
Yeah, I don't know. I right? Like it's I had to look at my phone. I was like, Wednesday, like because it's all the same. Every day is fucking Wednesday or Monday or whatever. Like, what I was saying was the closest thing to this that I've ever experienced is like this is like living in camp all over again. The world, anyone who's actually obeying and listening to this, and actually self-isolating, when they went and stocked up, bought a few weeks worth of groceries a week or more ago, and they've never lived a camp lifestyle. This is the closest thing to it. Like and just stay inside, cause that's all fucking. That's all that work is. Self-isolating, Alberta and offshore. You're self-isolating on this rig now for 3 weeks, and every day is the same.
Oh, dude!
And you lose complete perception of what day time is.
6 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day, like is the sleep pattern. Waking up at like 3:30, going like, who cares? Cook some eggs, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like every day is just like wake up, eat, go about whatever mind-numbing shit around your house, and you know.
I don't know how many more times I can go to the fridge and stare at it, and then go to the freezer and stare at that, and then just go back and sit down without eating anything.
Oh man, I'm taking so many boredom baths. Just sit in the tub and smoke a joint, like nothing else to be at. May as well be naked in warm water.
Pornhub has given free premium Pornhub subscriptions
pisses me off.
To the world. Yeah, because you pay for it.
I already paid for it. I already got a subscription. Oh, fuck, my mom's listening. Shit.
Don't have that problem.
Hello, Mrs. Small.
Your son's beat his dick crooked.
I was crooked from that baseball game.
Oh, man. That's like Chappelle's sketch with Knee High Park. You don't know me, honey. I beat my dick like it owes me money. What?
Is that Chappelle Show?
Yeah. Knee High Park, Chappelle Show. Great sketch. It's crazy, right? Like just the whole, because you just know the whole world is stuck inside. Here, have at it. Like, we need you to stay inside. Here's the best quality shit. There you go. Yeah. Have at it. The whole, like, I am terrified. Right now we are having a corona outbreak, and I think come the summer, fall, whenever things get back to any level of normalcy, I think the what's going to crush. Everyone's talking about what's the next thing to come, right? It was SARS, it was swine flu, it was Ebola, and now it's this. What's the next one? The next one is going to destroy any of that, and it's just STDs are going to be gone off the charts because like AIDS and chlamydia and gonorrhea, herpes, all of it all together, it's going to sweep the fucking planet Earth. It's going to go mad because like okay, this when I worked in camp, right? Like when you came off, right? It was you like it's insane. And it makes so, like, with the porn, it's so beautiful. Like, because, like, it's, you can't, everyone's in their camp rooms on porn at the same time. Okay? Right? Like, it's
the same
you're on the shittiest Wi-Fi, and everyone's on the same few sites trying to upload the same garbage, right? You're, like, an hour trying to get, like, a minute loaded, and then if it, like, freezes on a titty, you're like, oh, take advantage of this, right?
No Kleenex is anywhere to be found.
Oh yeah, no toilet paper, Kleenex, socks that are being used up there.
I love how your mom's watching this too.
Yeah, my mom definitely is. But
they just give you a box of Kleenex with your paycheck? It's like, go nuts, my son.
but there's a little you get like $1.50 an hour for safety and $1 for this and that, and they have like a 10 cents an hour for Kleenex on your check. Yeah.
It's like 100 hours a week.
But hotel rooms when you check in, it's like a box of Kleenex is like $20.
But the horny mess that you are by the time your shift is over and you're back into and you're unleashed into civilization, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you are in the Fort Mac airport looking at a poster with a woman on it.
Oh, dude. More estheticians have been knocked up in the 3 days after turnaround than any other profession.
Estheticians.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's right.
Oh, that's so funny. But it's crazy, like the horny mess, and that's why you got guys downtown throwing away hundreds of dollars a night. Just, you know what I mean? Just, I don't care how much it costs. Just got it. What?
Just got nuts. Like,
got mad trying to pull off something, you know, because they only got 7 days home, 14 days home, and then it's back to that, back to isolation. You have the world pent up in captivity right now. Like it's like those tigers on Tiger King have a better life than us who are doing it right now.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Like it's, you don't realize how social and how active you are until you go through something like this.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people talking about how, like, people that are kind of like that keep to themselves already, they're like, this is great. Everybody's like me right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're not missing out. No one's missing out on anything. Everybody, it's just
right.
We were talking about it last night. It's like the whole entire world. Like, what are we gonna do tomorrow? I don't know. What we do every day.
Yeah, nothing.
Just sit there.
Well, yeah. Well, in a weird way, I kind of feel like everybody's on my level a bit. Wake up. What's going on? Fuck, I'll figure it out.
Make a few posts, I suppose.
Yeah, make a few posts, do a few things around the house. It's like welcome to my life.
Man. Chris Dunn, shout out Chris Dunn. He had something funny. He made me giggle on Facebook today about the state of when you're all pent up sexually. It's like now we're in quarantine. We're corny.
Oh, we're corny.
It was one of those corny
Oh, yeah.
dad jokes.
Oh, I'm feeling a little corny. Yeah.
Corny, come over.
Yeah. Chris Don loves the puns and swings and misses a lot, but when he hits them,
We love you, Chris.
but when he hits, every so often he'll have one that hits really good. That's a good one.
Dude, people are gonna be sneaking Tinder dates over to their house like it's the Underground Railroad.
Man.
It's just like, come on, anybody.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, what's getting on a bit of a serious note that's rotting me is that like I already like I'm actually like I have my few days of like, oh man, like antsy and whatever, and now I kind of like got through that threshold, and now it's like I have accepted that this is life now, and I'm starting to get like, you know, more and more fine with it. Like it's not, you just buy into it. Okay, like this is life now, you know. There you go.
Yeah.
And yes, and you know it's great. It's I was going somewhere with that. Fuck, I got all trailed off there, but I don't know where I was going with that. Fuck me in the ass here another day with a broom brush.
Well,
He's getting corny, everybody.
Yeah, he's getting a little corny. Where was I going with that? I don't know, man. Oh yeah, right. But like, so like I'm fine, but I think it's now a good time, especially with the weekend coming up, even though it means nothing to most people, to not get complacent. Like you think, oh, I'll go to this person's house. It's just this person's house. Like it's just my one friend, two friends there. Like if the whole city does that, that means the whole city's on the move and the whole city's interacting with one another. Even if everybody just goes over to like a house with one friend in it, defeats the whole fucking purpose, man. And it's like the only way, the quickest way we're gonna do this. You can't do this at 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like even like this thing, like gatherings of only 10. Oh, you know, because Corona's like if there's 11 in a room, it's coming at you. But if it's 10, Corona's be like, well, there's only 10 of them. I'm not. Like it don't fucking matter.
Yeah. For that.
no.
All you need is one person that got in contact with someone fucking a week ago. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and now they bring that into a setting of 10. And now those 10 people go off, and now you're having everything exponential but by 10. How the fuck is having everything at an exponential of 10 any better than having everything at an exponential?
Is that what it is though? Is it?
We're at 10 now. 2 is coming, I'm sure.
Yeah, but is that what it is? 10? Like, is that what we're? I haven't heard anyone say that. Keep it in. Actually, no, I did hear Dwight say that.
Like
10? That's stupid.
Shouldn't
Like
it
a
be
group of 10,
50
yeah.
as long as you're 6 feet apart?
Like a funeral of 10, like, and I'm going through this right now. My God, I hope the fuck it don't happen. But I have a family member who's really sick right now, and you know could pass away tonight, and a close family member, and it's like, you know, that's not cool, man. Like, you know, but like here's the thing, it doesn't matter. Like, if there's any type of funeral, I'm not going. And when this all dies down, you know, I have to visit the grave, and maybe next year or the fall have some sort of memorial where everybody can get together. But like that's it. What are you gonna be selfish and be like, I don't care, blah 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 blah. Like, okay, cool. Like that's how you're gonna honor a person's death is by going out and fucking up the whole province, because that's what you're gonna do.
Someone
Like,
just commented.
you know what I mean? Like you got to think like that. You do.
Someone just commented like maximum 10 at a wedding or a funeral, but it's like 10 at a funeral. A lot of friggin' good that did us. Like. You know what I mean? Like if someone goes in there and starts licking the door handle, like whatever Mrs. did
like,
or whatever, then
like that funeral home. Like they got 44 people at that funeral home.
Yeah,
got infected.
Licking faces,
right?
Whatever, man.
So if it was 10, so now it's 10 infected instead of 44. So yeah, okay, it's 34 less people, but you still got 10 people. Now all those 10 were going around. It's still an insane spread.
Yeah, I don't think anyone broke any like guidelines to go to that though.
Right, and we were talking about that last
told
night.
Not to be cool about it. Is all they were saying.
Here's the thing about that. Everybody wants to shit on this person, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. I take the less popular opinion of, listen, right now there's 14 days in place. If you come in even at a province, you got to self-isolate for 14 days. And if you break it, it's a big fucking deal. Like someone tried to go to the grocery store in CBS, cops were there. Get back in your car. Once in CBS, and the other one was in Corner Brook, and the cops were all over her and whatever, right? Because they were mandated to. They had is mandatory 14 days. This person that went to this funeral home was advised, but wasn't mandatory. That's right. So here's the thing. And it's so easy, like, know what you know today and yesterday, and there's no perception of time. You've known something for 3 days, you feel like you've known it for 3 years. Because it's all that everyone's talking about, it's all you're thinking, but your whole life is altered by it. So you lose perception. But a little over a week ago, that wasn't in place. Right? And they weren't acting like they're acting now. The government wasn't as, tenacious or whatever word you want to use on it all. So they flew in from wherever. I'm assuming for the funeral. So if you're flying in from the States or wherever you're flying in, even I don't care if you're flying in from Halifax. If you're flying in for a funeral, they're clearly close to you. So someone that close to you has died. You flew in for it, and now the experts are telling you that you can go. That you can go there. I tell you what, man. If one of you, like, and I said this yesterday in the kitchen, if one of ye died, and I flew anywhere to come to your funeral, and then anybody in some sort of level of control told me I was allowed to go see you, I'm going to trust that I'm allowed to go because all hell is going to break loose, because if it was, you wouldn't let me go there. And either one of ye, I'm going to come see you at your funeral if I just flew in for it, and you know what I mean? So it's just like, people are too quick, I think, to, and this person, they are feeling like shit. What are you saying? It's too high? Too much? All right. So, like, it just throws me off. But it's just like, oh, Jesus, where was I going? I don't know where I was going.
If one of us died, I believe is what.
Yeah, I would say so.
But I don't know, man. I started to get nervous when they shut the VLTs off. Like,
can't lose no more money, can you?
When they're like, we don't want your money anymore, I was like, all right, like, let's start taking this proper seriously. If the ALC is like, we're not going to take any more of your EI checks, I'm like, okay, it's time to start getting inside.
Yeah.
Right? And this was days before the funeral.
Yeah.
So I think, like,
it's serious when the VLTs are shutting down and the liquor store is shutting down and Tweed is shutting down and shit's getting reeled in. Oh yeah, like, I just say, like, can you imagine how horrible this person's feeling? Because they weren't told they weren't allowed to go.
Well, from what I read today, I don't know if this is true or not, but from what I read today, is like they haven't traced it back. They haven't traced it back to that person yet. Like, they haven't found the initial person that did infect calls. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's what it seemed to indicate. Like, they haven't really narrowed down which one of them was, like, infected first. You know what I mean?
Well, I could be wrong, but I could be completely wrong. This is just me, whatever. I think that's bullshit. Official word, unofficially, everybody knows who the fuck it was, and and what was going on.
They resettled that first person up on the northern bend somewhere, or whatever. When the first one came in for the Grenfell Labrador area, we just like sent them right off on an ice floe. The community just dealt with that.
Get up to named for fuck's sakes.
Hold on.
Yeah, right.
There's three. I looked at it today, like, to see who it is. So in Eastern Health, I'm probably sure everybody knows this, but in case you don't, you've only been coming to the Colin Hollett podcast for information.
Which you should.
Eastern Health, 76, right? And I had a little 76, 44 from the fucking funeral home. And then Central Health got 2. Western Health, like Cornerbrook region, they got 1. And then Labrador got 3.
That's still their OG 3. That's their original.
Yeah, like
3.
they've stopped. Nothing wants to be in Labrador anyway. I'm surprised that virus does.
Well, it clearly doesn't want to be there. Hasn't been spreading. Yeah, well, like, here's the thing, and I don't want to alarm too much, but at the same time, I kind of do, because actually, you know what? I don't give a fuck if I'm going to be the guy that over scares people to get them to get. I'd rather people overreacting right now is way better than underreacting, because it's almost impossible to overreact. The way you got to think of this is, and I said it before, like. But just like, okay, just imagine you're at war. You got to think you're at war, and your enemy is coming for your family, right? First, and they're coming for your parents and your grandparents first. For whatever reason, they want to take it the week before they take it the strong. You got to think like that. And if you were in war right now, And if you knew that Walmart, the enemy was dropping bombs up at Walmart, would you go up to Walmart for fucking something you don't need? You know what I mean? Or would you be
middle ground, like people buying up all the toilet paper needed shit.
right? But or would you stay in the house for as long as you fucking can, and then when you finally do go to Walmart or Sobeys or wherever it is you need to go get your shit during a war, you're gonna be stealthy. You're sneaky as anything. And sneak to the grocery store, get your things, and get back. You're gonna do all the things you can to not get bombed and not get killed, not get shot. Right? You gotta think like that. You gotta stay inside, and then when you do go to get your shit, man, wear your gloves, mask if you got one. You know what I mean? Do get in there, like, keep your distance from everyone. Don't be coughing and sneezing on shit. If you happen to do have to cough or sneeze, put it into the arm. Whatever. When you get home, you know what I mean? Get right to your car, truck, whatever, and get back to the house. Yeah. Like do everything you can to not contaminate that place that you're going to.
I bought cleaner at Walmart today, like spray cleaner, like the one that I could find, because there's nothing. Here's the other problem. Everybody buying like 3 or 4 bottles of spray cleaner, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, okay, well now, like, I didn't panic at the beginning because I knew everybody was gonna need some.
Right.
And now there's nothing left on the shelves. Like I couldn't
That's the other thing.
spray not around, but like still, like I even still like got the bottle and just like grabbed the rag out of my trunk and sprayed my hand, sprayed the handle just like before even getting your debit cards. Pin pads, like even in the store, like I'll just full on spray the pin pad or whatever. Like it's not, who's gonna get mad at you? Thanks for disinfecting.
Oh, don't people thinking I'm this and that? What do you like? What do you mean?
I've been dying to dress like Mad.
Oh my God, people are gonna think I'm nuts. No, people are gonna think you're nuts. People are gonna think you're nuts if you don't do it. That's the way it should be. Like you can't. No one is making fun of anyone for being crazy here. Like if anything, it's seen as like a sign of like almost like leadership and anything. Like you're not gonna get judged. Like you gotta go do the things and just and just embrace.
Yeah, because those 82 cases, they're like 44 of those from one spot. So if those people all stay in right now,
and they
right?
did for sure.
And well, who knows at first? Yeah, right. So it should, in theory, but I don't know. It should come down.
It should, but
over time.
But here's the thing. So you have 44 people from that funeral home, right? That got infected from the funeral home. So now they all leave. If every one of them just infects one other person, now you got another 44 walking around and have it that don't know they have it, right?
Yeah.
And now they're walking around. Now they've infected people. Now there's another whatever fucking number that is, maybe another 44, whatever. How the fuck the math works out, but it's just like, and like this thing is already gone through. I can almost guarantee. Just think about it. That because there's so many people that went on, just like that got it just from like third and fourth hand contact from anyone who was at that funeral. So like, there's people that got it right now. They're not even thinking. They're like, I was nowhere at the funeral home, and I wasn't talking to anybody who wasn't at a funeral home, right? Yeah, but the person you were talking to, they weren't talking to someone at a funeral home either, but that person was. So it's like, there's no way to trace it back. So you got it. Like I said, you got it. Like everybody's a suspect. Right? That's like in like the Scream movie with Randy. Everybody's a suspect.
Everyone's, you know what I mean? Like, and now the interesting thing is that people are like I myself, like a month ago before it got really kicked off. Like I came back from Vegas, really early February, when it was still like kind of new, but people were like starting to wear masks around and stuff like that. But I remember like coming back from then and just being kind of like, all right, now things are fine. Like, don't need to worry about it. We're going to be, good and stuff. Don't need to worry. But I think, and then, 3 weeks later, I thought what I had was the flu. I had the fever for a day. I had the scratchy throat. I had this and that.
Oh, he just dropped it.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, it was like back then, it was like there's no cases in Canada, but, man, I could very well have had it. And just be one of the fortunate cases that it was only mild. Like, I did have 1 or 2 crappy days, but going, okay, that's the flu. And that might be it. And it might have, you guys might be asymptomatic or whatever, and who knows? You might have already worked through here, or not even close. There's no way of telling, right?
Right. Just
every case so far here in Newfoundland is recovering from home, though, so far.
And that's great.
Every case. And
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Not one of them have been gone to the hospital yet.
Thank God.
Right?
That's great.
And I saw today
We only
too.
got like 3.
From like a toddler to age 19, there's 7. From 20 to 29 is 9.
39.
Yeah, okay. From 20 to 39, there's 9. And then 40 to 49, there's 12. It's pretty spread out, like, over the age demographic. Like, the most is 50 to 59. There's 21 cases. And then there's 15 from 60 to 69. And then there's, 18 for 70 plus. But even, like, it appears like even the older folks that have been getting it are just recovering at home so far.
Mm-hmm.
But remember what I said earlier, that I think it was on Rogan's podcast. They were talking about the doctor that said that it appears like people who are in longer contact, like people who are like, that's why all those doctors kind of passed away in Italy, because they were dealing with it and they were around it for so long. Apparently, the longer you're around it, the more severe you actually end up getting it.
Builds up.
So, like, for us, even if you do, it's comforting to know. Like, it's not so comforting if you're in the healthcare. You got to be careful if you're working in there.
Thank you for your work.
Yes, to all those doctors and nurses out there, like, it's a little sketchy, right?
Well, getting to that, and I had this inscription, we just went down rabbit holes, but, big story, and that's not getting talked about enough, and I've already heard a reason today as to maybe why it isn't, but apparently, and I'd love to hear more clarification on this, that the N95 masks are the masks that the doctors and nurses should or want to be using for this virus. And to keep themselves protected from getting it off their patients. Some skeet, whether it's someone who was visiting or if it's a skeet employee, stole a bunch, if not all, the N95 masks. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Yeah.
But and I know nurses and doctors who work here, and I've talked to them personally, and they're fucking terrified. They're terrified.
Oh, dude.
They're terrified that they're gonna get it, right? I got friends who are nurses that are diabetic and got respiratory problems and even blood pressure, cholesterol problems, everything else. And they gotta go in. This is where they work, man. They work there. Like, they're surrounded by it. And
Mundy Pond,
yeah, right, or wherever the fuck. Like, honestly, I tell you what, if that is, here's the thing. Here's what I think. If those masks are the main masks for that, and it's for our healthcare professionals, and someone stole them, and now they don't have them there. I think that I don't know why there isn't something on the news saying, like, the cops are looking for you. And if you have any leads, man, like, an armed robbery happens at a fucking Esso, and there's a fucking picture of being like, do you know this person? We're looking for this person. If you're looking at somebody who stole $88 out of a cash register up on Esso, up on fucking Roadblock Lane, but you're not looking for the person that stole these masks during a time of a pandemic and a crisis, what are you doing? Like, the cops should be, this guy should be enemy number one, man. If that's real, I'm not saying this is real.
Yeah.
I'm just saying from what I've heard. If that is real, and this person needs to get the fucking book. This is like, to me, this is on par with turning your back on your country when you're at war. Treason, is it? Yeah. There you go. Fucking words. Deadly.
Yes.
Deadly. Words.
Being a skeet bag.
Yeah.
National level.
Yeah. Like, get fucked. Can you imagine? Man, imagine.
Money, right?
Imagine one of your nursing friends or doctor friends, healthcare friends of any sort, actually getting it and dying, or getting it and got screwed up complications for the rest of their life because some skeet stole the mask that they're supposed to have at work. Another thing is, too, there's this guy out in Corner Brook area. I don't know if he's in Corner Brook, but he's on the West Coast, apparently. Callahan? Do you guys know this guy?
What? No, I don't know who.
His last name is Callahan. He lives on the West Coast, apparently.
Okay.
So this guy apparently has been streaming a lot and doing videos, and he's getting great traction, and a lot of people are paying attention to this guy. Apparently, he calls into open line all the time. I haven't heard him. If I have heard him, I didn't know it was him. I love open line. Shout out Patty Daly. But it's this guy has been like a big influencer. He's after like causing shit to happen. But get this, this guy has been in the I gotta look. I just got it right before we went live, but somehow he's been in negotiations with someone somewhere, and got like 1 million kits. What's that? He got like 1 million kits. Fucking negotiated. 1 million test kits and masks and everything negotiated for the government. He just needs the government to pull the trigger on it. It's a crazy thing I just heard before we went live. And like for all these masks, he got like a wicked deal on all these masks lined up.
Yeah, at the Health Science.
No, I'm butchering the story because I don't know. This guy's living on the West Coast, and like he's been in touch with the premier and everything. He's been on the phone with the premier. And they're like, yeah, okay, do your thing, get back to us. Thought it was going to take him. He had everything negotiated and figured out, but later that day.
Was he just like some kind of prep?
And he's trying to get like he's trying to get like I don't know, several 100,000 like test kits and masks into the island, and he's got a good deal struck up, and it's there for the government to pull the trigger on, but they haven't been pulling the trigger on it or something for some reason. I don't know. And apparently he's making videos being like, I got it done for him. All they got to do is give the green light. Don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, I just got this right before it came on. So I don't know enough about it. The top.
Government might be like, where is it? And he's like, don't worry, it's coming. Don't worry about that. It's coming Tuesday, I promise. Like, maybe.
He hasn't even ordered it yet.
Well, that's it. That's the actual.
You're not getting it. He has it lined up to order. He just needs, like, he's given all the details to the government. Right?
Yeah.
He's given all the details to the government. But for some reason, they haven't been pulling the trigger on it, and he's been making noise on how I got this done, why isn't the government pulling the trigger on it? Apparently this guy's been after causing rallies and shit to happen before. And like people listen to this guy, he's an influencer. I'd like to look into that. I'd like to get talking to him. I'd love to get it set up. I gotta get that I gotta look into that about getting
one of the things that I'm seeing here in the comments, Erica Barrett, she said there's a fella Blaine Tucker. I'm going to need probably some more clarification on this. So if Erica, you could comment and clarify what's going on here. But he said there's the guy Blaine Tucker who just got back from Fort Mac, and he's sleeping in a logger's tent for 2 weeks. I guess quarantining maybe or self-isolating.
I hope he's got Wi-Fi.
Can you give him a shout-out, Colin?
Looks like we just did. What's his name? Blaine
Tucker.
Blaine Tucker. Blaine Tucker living in a
name if I ever heard one.
Man, there's like 3 to 5 weeks that you can sleep in a tent in this province, and it's not now. And that guy's doing it. You know, if that guy
brush, Blaine.
If that guy can follow it.
Yeah.
And you can't stay the fuck in your house.
Ironically died of pneumonia with the rest of us.
Pneumonia.
No.
Oh man.
No.
Oh, I don't. This guy, what a legend. Shout out Blaine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We had a new Outhouse video drop today. That's the way to do it, folks. Right? You want to talk and laugh with your friends, drink with your friends. You get on podcasts. You drink with them. You get into the comment section. You comment. We drink. You know, and yeah, just get on group chats and get hammered together, man. Like that sketch was fun as shit to do, right?
Oh man, well put together
It came out great.
Oh man, Hako edited the shit out of that.
Text Hako and tell him like that was.
Man, I know. I told him too. Yeah, I was talking to him. He was saying because like you could just tell the editing was nuts on it, and he said, yeah, man. He said he said I had to take a screenshot of it, like in the software program for the editing. He took like when it was at the very end of it. He took a screenshot of
the render.
Yeah, what it all looked like, and like Oh man,
There's so many video tracks, and so many audio tracks.
it looks crazy, and I was like, dude.
Yeah, I liked how like when Shani was introduced, like when Hiscock and Chris Andrews got introduced. After that is when like the Shani music like was playing in the background,
Yeah.
as if they were like playing at the kitchen party.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I noticed
right?
that too.
Yeah.
And what did
I with a nice computer.
two things that I seen about that I really liked was I thought was great was when he was pouring the beer down into the mouth.
Marcus's mouth.
Yeah. And the streamline lined up almost perfectly. Like how do you know what I mean? Like oh man, that's not unreal to do that, right? And then I loved it too when
Vicky and Lynch.
With Vicky and Lynch and Vicky's on top of Lynch.
Yeah.
And then he squirts her in the face.
Yeah.
And when he squirts her, she like on his perfect timing goes like that. Yeah. Right? Like it's synced up perfect. I was like, man, like this is wicked, man. This video's killer.
Did you see Richie Perez Take On Me video that was on NTV and stuff like that? It was like remotely shot, and it was a music video for Take On Me by Aha. And it's like, it's Richie Perez, Jordan Young, Jeff Young husband, a couple more artists. Unfortunately, like I'm sorry to say I can't remember off the top of my head. But like drumming, vocals, banjo, and it's all cut from everyone's living room. And they must have all recorded and done their own full-on music video. And then, but just the quality of the recordings, everybody's individual recording of it, and then the mastering comes. Seriously, guys, check it out. It's just like I don't know what it's called, like the confined videos or like quarantine videos or something like that. But if you just look up like Richie Perez Take On Me Newfoundland, it's worth a watch. It's such like similarly just a compilation from everyone's different room, all coming together.
Compilation.
Like how did you guys do this in such little time? We all got like really restricted like less than 2 weeks ago. And some of the artistic work that some people have put in has been absolutely just like off the chart, entertaining, like relieving, therapeutic.
What are you doing night one when we're all allowed to go crazy again?
Are you kidding me?
I'll tell you, before Liam even says anything, I'll tell you what's going on. He's going down to the embassy, and he's perched himself.
What's up, Brandon and Niall?
And he's going to drink the Black Horse tap dry.
I'm gonna have enough Black Horse on my side to open up my own stable in the Goulds, all right? Like
they don't need another one down there in the Goulds.
That's cool. I'll go full Galway with it. Like,
what are you doing, Tyler?
Myself out.
Man, should I be June, my son?
Summer, we'll be out at the lakes.
I don't know what I'm doing fucking tomorrow.
I'll be dead by
oh, for anyone who hasn't seen that video, you're gonna look that up with Prince Charles coming out of the limousine, right? Yeah. And he keeps going to shake hands, so he's coming out of the limousine and he's shaking hands, right? And it just as he keeps going, and then he goes to shake this other guy's hand, just out of habit, realize he can't, and they both freeze up, and they do like this bow thing.
Oh Jesus, I haven't a fucking clue what I'm doing.
Oh man, but there's a voiceover. This Irish guy. Do you know who it is? Or just some random guy?
It's like Aussie man, but Irish.
This Irish guy just is throwing this voice over Prince Charles coming out of the limousine, and when he goes on the third time, it's like, this is he gets to shake the guy's hand. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What the fuck am I doing? Yeah. And then and funny and like
and
the funny thing is now he got it. Now he got it, which is like, you know, I don't care if he dies or not. Fuck the prince, fuck the royal family, but. You know, like he. I hope he don't. It's funnier if he don't. But oh man.
But that sort of reiterates, like, I mean, his life is insane. Like the amount of times he had to shake hands and stuff. Like over the course of his life, he has to shake hands pretty much every single time he goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Just the level of brainwashing, not brainwashing, but
reflex.
like the. Yeah, exactly.
It's a fucking reflex.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump said it too, and listen. Far be it for me to like ever agree with anything Trump has ever said, but like when someone was asking him about like you're saying like exercise caution and now you're shaking hands, and he just for once I saw just like a real guy be like, listen, like I've been my whole life a businessman. Like someone reaches your hand out, you go to shake it. It's so instinctual. I'll still do it. You know what I mean? Like once or twice, like someone. and you gotta have that weird moment in a grocery store where you're like, bump elbows or whatever. But like, it really is like such an instinct to just shake the hand.
Yeah.
It's so hard not to.
I
So
know.
spit in their face instead.
I like to see some sort of furniture, some sort of social cue. I still can't get over. I'm interested to see what George Street's going to be like on night one.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be absolute madness.
Right, Tyler?
Well, the thing is, I think it's going to be one of those things where, you know how, like, everyone puts a lot of hype behind, like, New Year's Eve, for example, and it ends up being, like, sometimes, like, the shittiest night that you've ever been out? Because here in Newfoundland, we go out all the time. It's like every night's New Year's here. Like, you just get blitzed till 3 or 4 in the morning. But, like, I feel like the hype behind the first day we're going to be allowed out, everyone's going to be, like...
I think the way to
I
do...
think we're gonna go out for 3 days.
Here's what I think to do. I think the night that... The first time, it's going to be crazy. You know what I think to do is? Don't join the madness. I think you go sober. That's how I'm going to do it.
That chance.
That's how I'm doing it.
No.
Okay, I'm telling you what I'm doing. Like,
won't
yeah. Like, that's exact. I don't give. You can go get fucking hammered, right? I'm not doing it. Like, I want to go down sober, and I want to like observe history. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see how fucking insane that's going to be. Like, Newfoundland is notoriously known for just being a bunch of alcoholics and sexaholics. Like, we're the most sexually active province in Canada. And I tell you what, you really feel that when you live somewhere else. when
you're horny and single.
When you live somewhere else, you really like it's so much it's just so much easier here. Right? To date and to meet people and to hook up and everything else than it is on the mainland. It isn't like that everywhere else. You think it is, it's not. It's going to be so next level. All you're going to need to have is a pulse.
And no one's going to have any
and no
immunity.
corona.
Oh, and no one's going to be caring about who their cousins are.
What'd you say, Tyler?
Just no one's going to have any immunity because we're all stuck inside. There's the other side of this whole coin, right? Is that there's a lot of people, even doctors, that are thinking that, we should quarantine the people with underlying health conditions and older ones and people at most risk. And then younger people should just
live their life
and kind of keep the world going, because then we're going to go back to the same problem. Like, if we're all in and we beat this here on the island, then next thing you know, the second wave comes, we have no immunity built up.
It's true.
Right? And then next thing you know, we're all in the same boat again. Oh, there's this many 100 cases and we all got to stay inside again, and the cycle repeats, right?
I have thought about that for a nice while now, is exactly that. And it makes a lot of sense. You ready for the tinfoil hat talk?
Oh, never mind. I was going to go to the bathroom, but no, I'm going to sit down first.
So here's tinfoil hat talk. So I threw this out there before. Like, this is just fun tinfoil hat talk. So the virus comes out of China, right? China is having their worst economy in 76 years. This is the worst their economy's been in 76 years. Do the math. 1944.
All
right?
makes sense.
So it's a war, right? So they had the worst economy since 1944, and like a virus that just shakes the world and completely fucks up the stock market and everything else, and puts the world at a halt, pauses the world, comes out of there, by complete coincidence, the same year that they're having the worst economy in 76 years. Put that with, they get it first, therefore they understand it first, they control it first. So America is over there on fucking, they're going through, like right now China is starting to get under control now. They're starting to be on the downswing of it. America is just, they're still going on their upswing. It's in the very beginning.
They get the most cases in the world right now.
So when China starts kind of like getting back to normal, America is and NATO countries are in a complete shit show. Now is their time to do whatever that they do, right? And that they can do. America has had to spend, hold on, Liam, has had to spend billions, if not trillions of dollars in bailouts and this thing and the next thing. They lost billions, if not trillions of dollars in the stock market. China's back there reset, and they're ready to fucking hit the ground running while we're here fucking scrambling.
Yeah.
So
I'm so on board with this theory.
Right. So So then Trump is saying that he wants everything to get back up and running, but April 12th. So here's the other thing too. As crazy as he is, he's still the president, right? And the president, no matter who he is, gets a bunch of fucking insider information. Like they know shit that vice presidents don't know. Yeah, you don't agree?
Like that God's not real, stuff like that.
I'm telling you, man. They get you. If you don't think they get special briefings, they do. Like if I were to get elected president tonight, like they're gonna be like, I'm gonna go to some special fucking room, and they're gonna say, all right, here's the state of the world and the perception of the world to everyone. Here's a whole lot of classified shit, and here's the whole whatever, and here's what's really going on, and here's what's really happening between us and Russia and us and China and us and da. You know, go forward knowing these things, right? And then they can't share that. It's top stuff. And if you were to try to fucking leak it out, and if you were to try to, you know, you're like Kennedy. Kennedy was the last guy that was trying to tell the people to rise up and to this and that and trying to give him a hint at what's actually going on. Boom. Head gone. I believe that. So,
oh, definitely.
Right? So, you get them, America, Canada.
One thing you never, ever got to, like, stop, and you can't forget that it is so not beyond any nation or political land, anything, to do anything to further themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It is such a possibility. Like, if you don't think that maybe there's a possibility that this could have been planned, then you watch too much CBC News.
Yeah. Yeah, you're too plugged into the system, you're too 9 to 5 and just trust everything, you know, because it's like, like, and people be like, well, why would China unleash their virus? Well, I don't know. Maybe because they know it's not, if it was, again, tinfoil hat talk, they know it isn't going to wipe out their country. They know for viruses, it's actually a fairly weak virus. It's like 97% success rate. And if there's if there's ever a place that needs to thin out the herd a bit, it's fucking China. There's over 1 billion of them over there, so they know they're going to still be completely fine. And who does it kill off? The weak ones. So it just makes them stronger, don't we? Like it just makes them stronger. So, like, why not? Why not? Like, sure, an attack, like doing something to your own land to further something is like unheard of. 9/11, there's all kinds of talk around that about America letting that attack happen. Whether they attacked themselves or they knew it and they just said, fuck it, let it happen. Still the same thing. I don't give a fuck. Even if you knew that it was coming and you let it happen, to me that's the same as attacking your own spot. Like, you know? So, like, back to what I'm saying is that now you got everything's in the fucking dumpster. They're losing trillions of dollars on shit. It's like, then what I'm saying is, Trump, everyone's saying he's crazy for wanting to go back April 12th. But what if he knows something we don't know? What if he's seeing this and is thinking, listen, if we don't get this up and running, we are going to, and he's already alluded. Like, now what did he say? He says, you know, he said small business owners and suicides, right? But he said he's afraid that if we don't get the economy back up and going, that there's going to be way more deaths than the virus will ever cause. That's what he said. Now, what does he mean by that? Does he mean suicides and small business? Because honestly, he's so sick. I don't think he gives a fuck about them. He don't give a fuck about nothing but himself and the stock market and his own shit, right? So what's he saying? Yeah. I think he's alluding to war. And war would fuck everything. Well, this is a real war would fuck everything, and he doesn't want it. He hates war.
Yeah, well, everybody knows too that as far as war goes, the United States might be like, you know, so many $1 trillion in debt, but they've got the most powerful army. Like, anyone who goes to war with the United States is fucked because they've spent all their money on, you know, on planes and fucking tanks and everything, right? And then next thing you know, China has a huge economical boom and we're in basically a depression. That's the time to hit.
Right.
Now,
That's the time to
again,
hit.
To be fair, all speculation. We don't want to.
Oh yeah, this is speculation.
4 episodes, zero
So,
fucking
I
Alex
don't
Jones
care.
is-
But here's the thing: is that it's just fun. It's just fun tinfoil hat.
I don't think anyone thinks we're political experts here.
Yeah, like I'm just shooting the shit. But it's just like, think of this: like back in the day, you wanted to go to war of any sort, you could do a surprise attack, right? Whether it's coming in on fucking
a couple of years ago.
coming in on horseback. You know what I mean? to a village.
Yeah.
Coming at night, you just come in, bunch of horses and stuff, attack people, whatever. You can't do that now. Like if China just sends off 10,000 planes across the ocean, it's not going to be a surprise. America's going to know that before it even reaches the fucking ocean. They're going to see it coming. It's going to be all over the radar. The satellites are... Everybody's watching each other and watching each other's bases and whatever. You can't just send planes over and be like 10,000 planes. Oh, fuck, what happened? Like, there's no surprise attack like that anymore. It can't happen. There's too much technology. So if you're going to do an attack, your first attack would...
You gotta know they're broke.
Yeah, you gotta make them weak. And how do you make them weak? Make them financially and physically, like their health. Right? And this is doing both. More so financially, but a little bit of physically too. Right? So that's first attack. Now they're weak. Now you can attack us. Like, and I don't think that they'd attack. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It makes complete sense. Like you would attack. And here's the thing: nobody wants to go to war. Nobody really wants to go to war. Like, they don't want to send over bombs and blow up North America and all the pollution. Like that fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody just wants to be at the top and whatever. So what they're gonna do is make demands, because Trump, as much as everybody hates him, he's been cleaning up in trades. He's been getting so many millions in tariffs, and he's brought so much work back to America. And between the tariffs and the work in America, like that's one of the worst. Is, you know what I mean? Like he's done work, and he's got America's economy is on fire down there. Unemployment rate's the lowest it's been since the 50s. It's like 3-point-something%. Like 96-point-something% of people are employed in America. Like that's crazy, right? That's an amazing rate. Yeah. So it's just like, all right. So China's like, fuck this. They want to get back to the bargaining table. So how do you do it? Blow the stock market up, reset it, and get it so that you're the one that's back to the table first. You run back to the table first, right? And then you're waiting for everyone else to come back to the table. And the longer you're sat there waiting, the stronger your seat is. The warmer your seat is, the colder theirs is. So this is what So when he's saying that they want to get back at April 12th, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm crazy.
Well, I mean,
it's
it's not what's
speculation.
It's not in the conventional media. It's not. You're not going to see those things on TV.
Right. And I'm not saying that this is real. I'm not saying it's true. I'm playing a fun tinfoil hat game, and I'm saying when I think about it, I don't think I'm like insanely reaching too far. Now, if someone can come at me with facts and a bunch of other shit and show me why it's crazy, I'm totally open to that. I'm far from married to it. I've only thought about this in the last couple of days, just thinking, right? Like what everything means and what's happening, and just trying to make sense of it all.
You know what's funny? You went so deep with like what's happening, like what are you thinking about? What's going on? And as far as I got, I was just like, everybody who watched that like Clean Your House show on Netflix with that, like, what's her name, Mary Bindle or Mary Bundle? I don't know if that's from like
I forget her
Random
name.
Passage or whatever, but like, remember that like Clean Up Your Stuff show or whatever? How pissed is she that like that didn't get released like this week? Everybody's at home, fold your laundry and gut your shit. We did all that last year. Fuck! I got nothing to be at. I already had my yard sale.
Man, I wish.
Damn it.
My old roomies used to watch that. God, that show drove me up the wall.
Dude.
It was a book. She wrote a book first, and then I guess the book took off. And this is just listen to her now. I don't remember much about it because I for sure as shit didn't watch it because it was brutal. But also it was like you actually have to like hold your item. Like say if you have a closet full of clothes, you hold your items in your hands.
Yeah, Mary Kondo. That was.
And then you have to ask yourself like, what does this item mean to me? That's
joy?
how you does it bring you joy? Like that's how you decide whether or not you like throw your item out or keep it. You know what I mean? Oh, it was. Oh, I'm glad it didn't get released.
But I mean,
Actually.
like if it was released this week, it'd be like no one would be like posting stuff because they'd just be like, hold on, I gotta go through like 3 years worth of garbage. You know, the whole, I don't think it would have spread in Newfoundland if that show had dropped last week because people have been like, no, I'll hold off on the funeral. I gotta go through my laundry.
I mean, like if it did get dropped this week, it would have got squashed by Tiger King anyway.
It's true.
Right.
Oh man, Tiger King.
Oh, Tiger King is so good. Hey, Carol, it's a voice from your past. Oh my God, I'm not.
We finished it yesterday, but we can't spoil it. Not, I think. Like it's
No. Oh,
absolutely. Anybody watching
dude.
it kind of knows.
No,
where it
all right.
goes.
That's why that's why I didn't even finish that line because that was boy. I just want people to experience that. That was my favorite part so far. Now I'm only halfway through. I'm literally halfway through. There's 7 episodes. I got halfway through episode 4 last night.
Yeah.
And
Everybody wins.
oh man, like when he said that, hey Carol, it's a voice from your it's the voice from your past. I'm not even gonna finish it. Like, but it's me and Tyler paused it and rewound it and watched it like 10 times. It's the hardest I've laughed in the last like 12 days since being in like this self quarantine. Like it's.
Woke me up
Oh my God, man! It was some funny. Fuck, that was some funny. That is one of the. That is hands down the funniest documentary I've ever seen. I'll tell you another fucking one. Brooklyn. Oh jeez.
Oh no, the 7-5.
The 7-5.
Yeah.
The 7-5.
The 7-5. That's what it's called.
Okay, I thought it was the 5-7, but the
district
7-5. Yeah, I know it's the district number. The 7-5, if you haven't seen it, it's not on Netflix, but you can Google it. It's about 4 dirty cops in New York in the 80s or 90s?
80s. Crack epidemic in the 80s.
Yeah, before New York was the fun tourist destination it is now, New York was one of the scariest places to visit. Legit, it was like a war zone.
Yeah.
I'm not in North America, it was. You don't believe me? Did you see this?
Well, but like it wasn't just like.
To visit it is now.
It is.
It's like the hardest hit COVID place in the country.
Oh yeah, well,
Like,
okay, not right now, but yeah. What were you saying, Tyler?
I don't remember.
Oh, no, yeah, like it was, but that place was scary to visit. Like the amount of like, what was it? The murders were there was it 10 on average of 10 a day
Per day, yeah.
10 murders and homicides a day. Some days, like that's an average. So because it's an average, there were some days there's nothing for like 20 homicides that happen in a day, and all complete 20 different parts of the city, 20 different cases.
And
like,
just in one district, though. Or I don't know if that was the New York stat or
No,
if that was in that district.
I believe it was the New York stat.
Fun fact.
But still.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, New York, it was news. It made like national news that there was one day, I think it was a couple of years ago, that New York reported no homicides across the whole city, and it like made news. Like, hey, today,
Yeah, I remember that.
Today, nobody took a life. Get it on, right? Like, first front page.
I know, I remember that. But yeah, but the main guy, Kevin, was it Kevin? Anyways, he's crazy. He went so bad cop. He went so corrupt. And it's hilarious. So there's this massive coke dealer. I forget his first name. His last name is Diaz. And this cat is hilarious. I watched it with my buddy Jake Hirsch in where would we watch that together? I think it was Toronto. And fuck man, we did some laughing at him. This guy is like a straight up lunatic. This guy was selling about 2, if I'm not mistaken, this is gonna sound crazy, but it was over $1 million, close to $2 million worth of coke. I'm pretty sure it was a day. Like this, he was a big coke guy.
The numbers are easy to look up. I think we could. Probably.
Yeah, you can, but it's something insane. This what he was doing is he had a grocery store as a front.
Talking about the Dominican guy?
Yeah, whatever he was. His last name was Diaz.
Yeah.
And he had a grocery store as the front, and he was selling. He was selling blocks of coke, like this or bigger, and that's all he was selling. He was selling them. He was he was a big guy, right? And like he let everyone just be lower, smaller guys as it trickles down, right? That's how he was selling it. He was selling an insane amount of coke, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
What I like is when you listen to Buddy, like the sort of the head feature of that documentary. Like he served his time and now he does like talks and stuff like that. But he's like he's so he's not like he doesn't sound like ashamed of it, but clearly he's like reformed and speaks about it now. And he's just like, oh yeah.
Well, he was on Rogan.
It was bad, Like is more like he's not. He doesn't seem to be trying to hide the fact that he was crooked,
but this documentary, you gotta honestly, that's probably the best other documentary that I've seen, other than this one here. But because they're just a funny wild character, this Diaz guy and this Kevin guy, these two guys in that documentary, check that out if you haven't seen it. Tiger King. Time is it now, boys? 10 after. I think. I think we'll probably end on that note, unless you guys got something that you want to add there, or someone that everyone's coming in front of the comments there. I don't know. Worth talking about.
Carol fed her husband to the Tigers. Changed my mind. I'm not going to. She definitely did that shit.
I would talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it yet.
And then openly talk about the ending. If you haven't seen it by then, I don't know what to tell you. You're supposed to be inside on social media. It's all anyone's talking about it. If there was ever a time to be like, you should have seen it, it's now. Given everything being shut down. Also, I don't know, have a look at, your local musicians. Who's playing, who's sharing stuff, who's going on. Just, TV is going to run out. You're going to run out of shows because no films or anything are in production right now. So in a few
All right, I'm going to sign off there with that. With that in hand is that. Yeah, some people, my buddy Dustin Parsons out in Pasadena, he's got the podcast, an awesome one. It's way more polished than this, and he's got great callers coming in. He's having some real big shots on, actually, and someone that I can't say, but a very, very big shot. He's hoping to have on this week, as early as maybe tomorrow night. So, Steady Entertainment on Facebook. Check out that awesome podcast. I'm jealous of the polish and everything he's got going on there. It's wicked stuff.
We'll get there.
And second, Dave White, Dave Whitty, you're all these guys are doing some live feeds and different stuff. You got Chris Andrews and Damian Follett and Alan Doyle, and I mean, there's so many people putting in live feeds. Anthony McDonald. There's lots of people to go and check. So check out these guys and their live feeds for music.
It's all free, so don't be complaining about $5 cover charge.
And there's links to donate for these people because right now we're struggling, obviously, with our gigs and stuff. I have my links in my. They'll be in the description after this upload is done. If you want to donate to me, it's PayPal or you can email. And a lot of these artists will have it up and they'll have it in the descriptions and stuff. Because right now, that $2,000 a month come April, that's obviously a big help. But it's still not what some of us need or whatever, and it'll be great. But no pressure. We know everybody's hurting. But if you ever want to donate to your favorite artist, yeah, you can pretty easily enough. And want to give out a shout out to Livewire Electrical. My buddy Andrew doing great electrical work on the beer and pen. Kitty Vitty Brewery, big shout out. And we'll be coming. What's today, boss? Thursday?
Who knows anymore?
Yeah. And so we'll do one Saturday night. Last Saturday was a good hit. A good crowd. And you want to say anything there, Tyler?
Peace out, everybody. Peace out.
What up? This
is Colin Hollett.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you Saturday.